Hello there, Flip here, and today, I don't even know where to start or the direction I'm going to go through with this video. I just want to talk because as it stands now, being a Genshin fan is pretty depressing. Even though 3.7 is right around the corner, even possibly out by the time you're watching this, all we have is another defensive Dendro unit because we didn't have a ton of those already. Rehashed events, another Yoimiya story quest, the absolutely wonderful TCG event, and a rerun of characters that came out a few updates ago. But hey, did you guys know about this new game Honkai Star Rail? A new game developed by Hoyoverse, the same creators of massive hits like Honkai Impact III. Let's get some word from the player base. And the developers of Genshin Impact. With an immersive, vibrant world and all these stunning character designs, how can you resist not playing it? So click my link down below to try out this game for yourselves. Also make sure to drop a like if at any point during the video you're entertained or informed, and let's get right back into the video. But honestly, that's kind of how things have been going. Genshin has been in a dry state. We even had some of the lowest banner sales, especially for a new limited character, and Hoyoverse for the latter half of this patch have basically just said to invest in Star Rail stocks instead. And the thing is, we've seen this cycle a lot. The patches leading up to Inazuma, likewise the patches leading up to Sumru, and now we're on the tail end of Sumru for Fontaine. So it makes sense that the community and the game feels a lot slower, but in this case it hurts a lot more, mainly due to Star Rail. Let's look at it like this. Since the literal beginning of the game, when players found out how to optimize stats and what artifacts they wanted to use on their characters, we slowly realized, hey, this system sucks ass. Or you know, the fact that you have to teleport to a new region to change your MC's element, which is extremely inconvenient. Even just commissions being tedious after doing them a few times. We even have the resin system that's currently just slow and inconvenient. And because these issues have been in the game for so long, most people were just like, it's Genshin, it's Hoyoverse, it's just a part of the experience. Then to have basically most of the system upgrades and improvements that we wanted in Genshin to just be implemented day fucking zero in Hoyo's shiny new cash grab. It wasn't even laziness or the company being incompetent, they were just deliberately holding back better features and using those frustrations to fuel hype towards their new game. Which, you know, obviously fucking worked. But regardless, anyone with their head screwed on properly could tell what they were doing and how Hoyoverse really sees Genshin. If Genshin already had these systems, hell, if Genshin was currently fun and exciting to play right now, no one would be playing Star Rail because they would just be playing Genshin. So when Hoyo can just flaunt and advertise all these things you wanted in their new game, they can just get you hooked to that game, so now you are in two massive gacha holes. And it's wild because I've seen people saying I'm quitting Genshin, Star Rail is so much better. It's the same company. All roads lead to Hoyoverse. They're making you play Star Rail so much now while Genshin doesn't have anything going on, and then eventually when players catch up to the content, which maybe will happen when they drop the most anticipated character to drain your pockets from that. Oh wow, would you look at the time, Fontaine has been released and you are back into Genshin. I think I've just come to the conclusion that besides when they go hard for art conquests, music, and visuals, as well as their deep lore, Genshin isn't really going to be anything other than second rate. I actually had the pleasure of having a conversation with Murder of Birds about it recently, and he gave me quite a different perspective to what I had. As the resident meta nerd I am, I was talking about how great I think Endgame would be or something along those lines, and his response was, even if that... I'm so sorry, I don't have the depth to pull off that accent. But went along the lines of even if it wasn't a game, would even the meta nerds like us keep playing it? He brought up the fact that a lot of people wanted Teapot as it was something Hoyo promised, so the Teapot came out and... yeah, and most of what Genshin tries to expand into, whether it's fishing or even the TCG, end up just crumbling even despite the hype or excitement for it. Which is true because outside the reward or the novelty of the new permanent system, people lose interest very quickly in these things, when all we've been asking for is new permanent stuff. And after very excruciating and intensive research and diving deep into possible different factors, I think I finally developed my answer fully for why people lose interest, and that is that they suck. The idea of this hub you can create for yourself and your character sounds so cool until you realize you have to go and farm the materials, find blueprints for the thing you want to build, and then wait a day for what you want. So they just made this thing that was supposed to be exciting and fun and turned it into tedious labor. Like imagine trying to play creative mode Minecraft and you want to build a house, but you first have to go find the blueprints for the house, and for every piece of wood you craft you have to wait 16 hours for it. Fishing and collecting different kinds of fish that can be traded in for resources sound quite fun, but oh wait, you have to go and locate these fishing spots, not like 80% of Teyvat is water. And then after acquiring a net worth of 1.6 fish, you have to then wait for them to respawn, or just become a Pokemon protagonist and invade people's homes for them. It also makes me thank God that Windtrace and even the Make a Map events were limited, because we'd also very easily see the cracks in those as well if they were permanent. Almost all Genshin content is second rate or done to just an okay enough standard to where you can find enjoyment in playing them if you're interested, but not engaging enough to be called a fully fleshed out system. It always just leaves you wanting more, but never delivering on that, because they can deliver that experience in the new game, Honkai Star. And with the release of Star Rail, it generally just cemented that I doubt this game will make any more impactful long-term content, even if it's not combat related, or make serious quality of life improvements, because the game just runs on inconvenience to keep you playing, and to gravitate you to their new projects like the upcoming ZZZ that will launch sometime in the future. Hoyoverse has become an e-girl that sees Genshin as an incel trapped in the friend zone that will keep throwing money at her. Hoyoverse will keep playing and hanging out with Genshin, maybe even teasing a bit with a wonderful time, but ultimately will never commit. And why, you may ask? It is because Hoyoverse secretly has a boyfriend. She's been dropping all the money Genshin has given her to this boyfriend, multiple boyfriends to be exact, all unknowingly being funded by this poor incel who could do a lot. Did I write this? Anyways, because I am only me, who's actually still yet to play Honkai Star Rail, I decided to ask around in my Discord for those who played Star Rail their thoughts and perspectives on both Star Rail and Genshin, so I could get a much better perspective. The questions I asked were: I'm only going to pick one out of the 6 responses I got, but they will all be in the pinned comments if you want to read them in full, and I don't know if this person wanted to be named, so I'll just call them F. For question 1, F says, being able to redo expeditions in one click after claiming rewards, daily mission systems that isn't tedious like commissions, queuing more waves while farming resources to use resin faster, changing MC's element with having to go to a specific place, higher resin cap and quicker refresh speed, only having to lose one 50-50 on weapon banner for a guarantee, and being able to spark whichever standard character you want after 300 pulls. The response to question 2, which was about aesthetics, is that they're pretty much the same as Genshin's. Combat animations are better, but only because the combat is turn-based, so long animations don't waste time like in Genshin. For what they wanted in Genshin that was already in Star Rail, it was a roguelike game mode like simulated universe that gives weekly rewards. They also think that Hoyo still cares about the quality of Genshin, as in their opinion, Genshin is meant to be a story-driven game and most of their investment goes towards making it an immersive open-world experience, rather than giving it a repetitive endgame like other gachas. F also thinks that whether you play HSR or Genshin depends on your preference. If you like open-world games with real-time combat and a story that takes itself seriously, then Genshin. If you prefer turn-based combat and a more surreal story, then HSR. And for if they think Genshin will lose popularity because of Star Rail, they said no. Give people a few weeks to reach endgame and they exhaust their free currency sources, and it will end up like all the other Genshin killers. As the professional hater I am, I honestly can't wait for this to happen. I think it's already happened for Entashed, which, yeah. Honestly, all the responses were a lot kinder to Genshin than I thought they would be. For question 4, literally everyone agreed unanimously that Hoyoverse still cares about Genshin. One of the responses is literally just, they are literally working on a new region right now, which true. I'm actually also surprised by the fact that almost everyone had different things they wanted to be implemented in Genshin. The only commonality was the better artifact and resin system, which is to be expected. Everyone also agreed upon Genshin having better aesthetics and character designs than HSR, which I honestly didn't see coming. And one of the responses just talked about how the NPCs in Honkai Star Rail look a lot better than the Genshin ones. Yeah, everyone also seemed to be more willing to recommend Genshin than HSR, as it has more content and a better new player experience. But yes, thank you to everyone who responded so I could pick your brains, I appreciate it. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe and comment what your thoughts are on Genshin currently, as I'd love to hear it and I respond to almost every single comment. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.